The final race of the season is traditionally held at Mallory Park in Leicestershire on Boxing Day. Our wives and girlfriends, may they never meet, have let some of us out for a play.
Well, we're back at Mallory Park again, but this time I'm not spectating, I'm here to race. I'd be very fortunate to be offered, is that the right word, a Mazda 7... threatened. a Mazda low cost to drive today. This is AE Racing's Mazda low cost, and how do you feel about me driving it, Mike?
Well, it's more the work we had to put in to get you to be able to drive it, really, was the key. We had to take the seat out because he's not the shortest person in the world, but we managed to make it work, made it fit. We had to put him for a little rigorous testing session. This is where you include a montage of all the training you had to do.
Oh yeah, the pre-Christmas cheese diet.
Yeah, yeah, just to pad him out a little bit, ready for the race.
We've really lucked out today. It is cold, but it is dry, or at least the circuit's a bit damp at the moment, but the sun is out and it will dry later. And I'm really looking forward to see what we can do in this car. It's an eclectic mix in the sports all-comers class. Thanks to Mike as well, and thanks to Rob, who's having his power poo. We'll have a chat with him later, I'm sure.
Yeah, just got to get out for practice to see how we get on.
So we went out for practice, and you can see the sun was quite low. This did improve throughout the day, but the track is actually quite damp still. Despite the sun being out, it was very, very cold. It was between sort of 2 to 6 degrees all day, and the track never really fully dried. You can just see a few sort of dry patches forming, but nothing significant yet, despite there already being a few sessions run. And immediately I breathe on the throttle, and you can see that the rear is wanting to step out and throw me off. So I am absolutely on tiptoes, and I think the MX-5s that were behind me must have got up to temperature much quicker, I nearly lost it then. They came up to temperature much quicker, and I could see them behind me, and I just let them by when they're wherever they wanted to go, basically. Well, there was a Caterham as well. A few things, a Radical, a Caterham, a Sports Special, I think it was called a Sienna. That thing was very quick. And a Porsche Boxster as well, which we were sort of toing and froing with. The MX-5s, we did have pace on them all day, but not early on in this cold, wet session on a circuit that I didn't really know. In the cockpit, I couldn't actually see the dry patches as well as you can see them on the camera here from this camera position. So I really was sort of seeking them out and finding them as and when I could. We're just going to let probably the Radical by. But yeah, bye-bye. You see up ahead as well, there was a Ginetta. It didn't take part in the races. It did seem to have some troubles coming out of the hairpin. I don't know if it was mechanical or the driver was just not very confident. You can see on one of the other sort of YouTube channels, I'll put a link in the description, they had a couple of spins at the hairpin. Coming out the hairpin, no traction at all. Car didn't really like it. I would skip ahead, got past the Ginetta. Like I said, it didn't seem to have confidence, and then you can see the dry lining just sort of forming at the edge of the track. So we're trying to use that as much as we could. We're staying tight here at Gerrard's. Probably not the quickest line, but we're fighting it all the way through. I think there was more grip on the outside, but I just didn't have the confidence to go there. And I had a really big moment coming out of Gerrard's there as well. Gathered it together, straight down the straight, and yeah, no problem at all. Into the S's as well. The rear just wanted to step out pretty much every time on this corner. So I just had to be ready for it and gather it up. Oh, nearly going again. Here's the Sports Special, the Sienna. He's struggling as well coming off the hairpin, but once he gets a straight line, he's basically gone. See, we're struggling coming out of Gerard still, and the Siana's just gone past 2 Mazdas in one go. And we're starting to get some heat into the tyres as well, so we're starting to catch them up and we're getting a bit more confidence. And then the Sports Special up ahead decides to promptly go off track. Here at the Devil's Elbow, that corner never really dried all day. There's a radical lapping everyone like it's like taking candy from a baby, to be perfectly honest. And then we'll let the Sports Special by now it's had its off and caught up. And to just controlling the slides out of Gerard's, and I think we're going to have an overtake here. Oh yes. But you can see up ahead the MX-5 just had a big moment, so that really sharpened me up as well. Oh, and you know, we've basically got the same power train as this vehicle, but we've got so much less weight in a straight line. We can just get behind and pick our moments of pass, really. Oh, nearly lost it, but didn't. And there's the Caterham coming around. He actually had a set of wets on, I think, so that's why he was much quicker than me. And Radical again. Goodbye. And yeah, here we are. We're lining up for the first race. The track's sort of drying a little bit, you can see. Interestingly, the grid positions for the first race were decided by order of entry, which is why there's such a mix of different cars in weird positions on the grid. And we get away pretty well, get it into second, and then I'm just presented with a wall of Mazdas. I actually have to back off a little bit, but I managed to get around one of them. You can see the Porsche Boxster up ahead as well. I'm not quite confident to stick it on the inside. I'd like to give myself some room. And they seem to have a bit more grip at the start of the race. And then Siana blasted by us all. So maybe that outside line had a bit more grip, but again, just wasn't confident, not knowing the track very well. And there's no way through on the inside there, so I just back it off, slow down nicely, and take my time into the hairpin. And again, just this corner was slippery all day. Well, the Radicals taking candy from us all again. But there was a dry line on the outside of the track there. Yeah, I could see that dry line forming on the inside, so I used that. But still slippery. We're still right on the edge of traction. Nice little dry patch there on the middle of Gerard's, and we just take that tight line, which probably wasn't the quickest, but it's what we did all day. So they're taking that wide outside line. I'm very slippery. I have a very big moment there in the S's. But we've got an opportunity here to stick it on the outside. They've gone tight. And we're just not taking any risks, really. We can pick our moment in this battle, I think. They've gone a bit deep. That should give us a nice opportunity coming down the straight. But yeah, just lacking confidence through the Devil's Elbow. But we've got a run on him. We pop it up the inside, and you can just see they're right beside me, and you can see him stick his nose right beside me as well. But I'm on the inside, and I'm going to have less weight, so I'm going to be able to take this in a straight line quite easily down here into the S's. So yeah, I just checked I've cleared him, come across so I can take my line. And then we got the other MX-5 up ahead of us. Oh, we've got it up a bit, but we had a bit of a moment there at the S's again, and same deal again. Got a decent run out of Gerard's, and yeah, it's a pretty easy move really. Oh, Radical's taking us again and again. And then here's all the moments I had through the S's for the rest of the race. I did get better at it. You can see I managed to keep the car. Oh, not that time though. Managed to keep the car pointing in the right direction, even though it was trying to slip away from me. Yeah.
It looked like you went from 9th to like.
Took like 2 licenses straight away, didn't you?
I don't know. There was a sea of cars in front of me. I was trying to back off a bit.
Yeah.
So we finished practice and race 1. Practice was pretty sketchy. I mean, it's dry-ish, but the track was still very wet. And race 1, it started off a bit damp with some dry patches, but got better and better. But we achieved our target. We beat all the MX-5s. I'm now clean and ready to race again. So we've beaten all the MX-5s before. The grid for this race is the reverse of the result of the previous race. The Boxster beat us, even though in practice and in the race we actually had a quicker time than them over a single lap, but they managed to finish ahead of us. So our target was to beat the MX-5s and try and beat that Boxster as well, because we probably should have the legs on them. You can see the sun's moved across, so it's not quite as blinding as it was in the morning, but the track is still damp in places, even though it's now full of the afternoon and it's been shining all day. But yeah, there is definitely a dry line now, and it's definitely a lot quicker than it was in the first race and in practice this morning. So you can see as we pull up to the grid is pretty much dry, and to my absolute and utter disbelief, the marshal points me to what can only be described as the only wet patch on the track, which is where I'm going to be starting from. Fantastic. So anyway, we've got to deal with it. It is what it is. But we've only got MX-5s in front of us. So we go out for our green flag lap, and I'm sure Michael will forgive me for absolutely lighting up the rear tyres to try and dry that little wet bit of tarmac that I'm having to start from. But yeah, it's just MX-5s in front of us, so hopefully we can, pinch them off at the line, and we might actually have a chance to have a good a run into the lead, which is the plan for the race. You can see here that I'm actually working the tyres so hard I lock them up. I wanted to make sure I had all the heat I could get into the tyres. The MX-5 beside me is being a bit cheeky and is actually a bit forward of his position, but we'll let that be. And you can see in my right hand mirror I've got the catering pretty much right behind me. And the ball goes out and we're ready to go. So they get away, the MX-5s get away pretty well. The Caterham's beside me is boxed in, has got nowhere to go. He's got a flyer, and plan A is working. We've actually managed to get into the lead by the first corner. Beautiful. And it's really slippery where the track hasn't dried, because at Gerard's, where the shadow from the tree has been there all day. And we get into the S's. It's dry there as well. We hammer it in. Nice and easy, nice and easy. A little bit of oversteer, but it's looking good. No one's got bias yet. And you can see already the race this afternoon is a much, much quicker affair than it was this morning. And we get off the line as much as we can. Can we lead for the first lap? No, the Sienna's got past us, skating across the Devil's Elbow, and there's our old candy taker, the Radical's gone. We officially beat the Radical to the line there by 78 thousandths. But can we hold off that Caterham? We've definitely got the legs on the Boxster. We've left them for dust, and the MX-5, God knows where they are. They're way, way behind us now. Oh, you can see that Caterham, he's in my rear view mirrors. And we're still sliding across the wet bit of the Devil's Elbow. Can we beat him across the line? That Caterham has just got the legs on us in a straight line, unfortunately. Despite having another probably 100 horsepower above us, to my surprise, we're actually able to stick with him in the tow, and he doesn't actually get away that much at all. And here I am thinking, well, actually maybe we can still fight for third place. I've not quite got the hairpin nailed, but you can see just getting off the hairpin, the Caterham's done a much better job. Probably got a better differential in it than us. Obviously a bit more power as well. And that was it. That was pretty much our race done. The Radical beat everyone. The Sienna came second, the Caterham came third, and we came fourth. And there really wasn't much more to see of the race than that. What do you think, boys?
Very, very well indeed. Finally nailed your starts.
Yes, thank you for your secret technique. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, no, it was great. Very good couple of races.
It's definitely the power poo, I think, that helped.
Yeah, that's it's all about that, yes.
Did you have one of those as well before we started?
I think I had 3. I'd say thank you very much to the 750 Motor Club for organising this today, and thank you very much to AE Racing for letting me drive their Pride and Joy.
Thank you for crashing it.
Yeah,
that's the best bit.
It is all in one piece, and I think we maximised it.
Really did. I think we even got better than we slightly thought as well, because that Porsche in the slippery conditions was just had us a little bit, you know what I mean? Whereas once we got the dry conditions, you managed to get the tyres warmed up. It was really good. You started absolutely killing it. So yeah, really good.
Well, if you're thinking of doing some racing as well, this car is available next year. So I'm going to put a link in the description. So if that's something you're interested in, follow the link and reach out. And I'm sure these boys will sort you out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.